Why is Miami so good, so good, so good? Why is Miami so good, so good? We need to make that a song. Why is the Real Housewives of Miami so good? I don't know if it's just the way that it's filmed. I don't know if it's because it's based in Miami. I don't know if it's the cast. It might be all of those elements. But I am sitting there just like, damn, this show is so good. More people need to know about this show. I mean, more people do know about the show. We last week we talked about the ratings that came out. Bravo, NBC Universal released the 7-day ratings across all platforms, meaning streaming, live viewers, social media, things like that. And Miami was doing well. It was like 1.4 million people for their premiere were watching. So congratulations to the Real Housewives of Miami. You guys deserve it. And I'm sure this is part of the reason why Bravo decided to say, okay, we're going to bring them over here instead of Peacock. Do I miss them on Peacock? A little bit, but that's a little bit for selfish reasons. More so, like I can put this recap out on a Friday or Saturday. Look, I'm away. All right, I was already dealing with technical issues yesterday. My goodness, and I don't get it because I'm doing the same thing on a similar platform. It is what it is. You don't care. You want the recap. All right. So come on into the live chat. For those of you that are watching the replay, we haven't forgotten about a replay crew. Be sure to let us know where you're watching from. Let us know how you would rate this week's episode of The Real Housewives of Miami from 1 to 10. Shout out to our channel members. Shout out to our King's Guards. We cannot do this without them. And don't forget, guys, you can still, Black Friday sale is still available with the code Black Friday, 25% off of anything over at House of Kempire. We have some new Kempire Christmas merch, including Christmas sweaters. Love it. Love it. Designed by moi, per usual. So when y'all think I'm just sitting here relaxing, doing nothing, that's what I'm doing. Anyways, all right, y'all, let's get into a countdown and then let's get into this recap of the Real Housewives of Miami. Oh, yeah.
Baby, baby, won't you listen to me? I got that flavor. I know you're dying to feed. I ain't no dancer, just got some hip in my feet. Now throw your hands up. Ooh, you bring the lighter. I got the fuse. You make a fire. I'll add the fuel. Follow my lead. Just watch the shoes. Gotta turn the heat up to get this cool.
Welcome back, guys, to the Kempire channel, your number one source for pop culture news and music, entertainment, reality TV, and so much more. As always, be sure to like this video, be sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and turn on your notification bell. And sidebar, please make sure you're still subscribed because that is a thing. And as a reminder, don't forget there are fake Kempire accounts here on YouTube. Ignore them. I'm not telling you to text me on WhatsApp. You know I don't got that kind of time. So ignore that, especially during the holiday season. A lot of these things have an uptick in regards to spam and fakery and trying to scam you. So please understand, I will be in the comments. However, there is a check mark next to my name in the comment section. But also, I'm not telling you to call me. I'm not telling my friends to call me. No offense. Just saying. Anyways, so at the top of this episode of The Real Housewives of Miami, we have Larsa inviting Adriana to the charity basketball tournament that they're going to be doing. Then we go into a date night between Dr. Nicole and Anthony, where he is like, well, if you're going to play this basketball game, I'm going to get you a trainer. Okay, that's what I like to see. And it's a date night for them to have fun together. I really do like them as a couple, but I do have some questions. Last week, they gave us the lap of luxury, which I truly appreciated. I really did appreciate us going and just having a good old time. Just yacht hunting. Okay, I appreciate that. All right, there is money being made here. All right. So he gets Dr. Nicole a professional basketball player to help her get her skills up, but apparently he needs the skills more than she does because she was really getting it in the hoops. And she said growing up, it was her brother who had the skills. Sidebar, I don't know if we knew at the time, but I don't know if I mentioned it last week. Shout out to Dr. Nicole. So sorry to hear about her father. Her father passed away, who we got to know on The Real Housewives of Miami. He passed away suddenly. I think a lot of people probably thought that, and I'm sure she probably did as well, he would live forever. And as you know, they had a very complicated relationship. Hopefully, they were able to get to at least an understanding. And I said this before, sometimes you just have to meet your parents where they are and not the parents you want them to be. So I'm not sure if she ever got to that place, but rest in peace to her father. But backtracking to this, so they're playing this game. Anthony doesn't have any skills. It's okay, Anthony. Woo woo woo. Dr. Nicole does have the skills, and she didn't even realize she had the skills to play basketball. I haven't played basketball in years. I wouldn't say that I have the skills. I would have to play it in order to know if I have anything. I don't remember the last time I played basketball. It's that long. Anyways, so so she talks about the trip that's coming up for them and that they're taking a sprinter up. But of course, the husbands are going to meet them up there. But of course, they're doing a sprinter thing for us to have a scene. They want to, because there's always some sort of drama in a sprinter. Okay. So she talks about that. She talks about what's going on in the group. And they lead into the conversation because Dr. Nicole's storyline this season is marriage or baby number two. So as you know, she got engaged. However, she doesn't seem too excited or too, not too excited. She doesn't seem too pressed. She doesn't seem too, it's not important for her to get married. And I wonder why they even got engaged. What was the motivation behind that? What made Anthony decide, let's get engaged if you weren't going to get married? And I'm not saying that they have to get married because I just felt like that never was a thing. So then I was like, why did you guys even get engaged? Why did you even have an engagement party? I just feel like even if it's not an important thing to you in regards to like the big wedding, then just go to the justice of the peace. We talked about the legality and the reason why you might want to get married just for practical sense. But at the same time, I'm like, you had a whole engagement party last season. You got engaged. Just get married. It's not a big deal. It's really practical. I mean, they probably want to do it for, family doing a big wedding. And honestly, when they do a wedding, I have a feeling it's going to be beautiful because they just do things in a really classy, rich way. You know what I mean? But I told you last week, I feel like Dr. Nicole has been married before. I don't know if Anthony's been married before. But then I thought, as I was watching them have the conversation, because Anthony was like, yeah, let's just worry about baby number two and then we can, do the wedding after that. Then it made me think, is Anthony the one who really doesn't want to get married? Or is it Dr. Nicole just going along with it? So that for me would be a critical thing. I know she has said that she's not in a rush to get married either. But I always wonder, especially with the Tiana Taylor situation coming out, where she sort of appears as if it's a united front. However, there is a lot of drama going on behind the scenes. There is cheating. I'm not saying that's what's happening with Dr. Nicole and Anthony, but it makes me wonder, is she sort of allowing what he wants more so than what she wants? I lean to believe that it's what she wants as well because she has been married before. So it makes complete sense to me that she's like, I'm not in a rush to get married. I like what we have, and I really do like what we see of this relationship. But like the Tiana situation, what we see on television is an edited version. It's also what they want us to see. So I understand that. I'm not looking to them as couple goals. Just saying. But what I can appreciate about what I see, what I energetically feel from their relationship, it feels like it's a partnership. It doesn't feel like Anthony's, has the most money, so he's in a power position. But I did have a thought when he said, yeah, let's worry about baby number two, and then we can think about the wedding. I was just like, not you trying to knock me up. Not you trying to knock me up, and I still don't have, the situation, at least legally handled. I know he'll take care of his kids, but what about me? But some of you might say, look at Lisa's situation. She said that, Dr. Nicole said that herself. Look at Lisa's situation. She was married. But I'm sure you would probably get a better prenup, Dr. Nicole. And you know there's going to be an ironclad prenup between the two of them. I mean, I don't, and this is part of the reason why people don't get prenups, because they like, I don't want to talk about us possibly ending. Well, you got to be real. You got to be real. And that's why a prenup is good. It's not sexy, but we have to be practical. I'm a Taurus, so I am practical. But she's a Virgo. I know she's practical, but she's also not worried too, because Virgos, they will be like, I will get my money. Don't worry about me. What's Anthony's sign? Live chat. Those of you that are in the replay group, what's his sign? I wouldn't be surprised if he's a Pisces. I hope not. Shout out to the Pisces. It would not be a Kempire live without some shade towards an astrological sign. Every sign gets shade here. I can't think of one sign that we don't shade. Even Tauruses we shade. You know what I realized the other day? I was like, I love Taurus. I love being a Taurus. But I also realized when I look at my friend group, it doesn't consist of Tauruses. Do you look at your friend group? What does it consist of? It does not consist of Tauruses. What does that mean? Okay, moving on. Moving on. So they're going to worry about baby number 2 before the wedding. Anthony is in agreement. It seems like they're on the same page on what they want that to look like. Well, good for them. Adriana and Julia. And I told you, oh God, we're going to spend the rest of the season here. And Julia go, this entire season. Can we talk about what I really want to talk about in the scene? And it's not Julia practicing for this F cancer party, which I can appreciate because she has really not been there based on what we've seen. Been there for Martina in a real way. All right. Well, no, I shouldn't say that. She has probably been there for Martina in a real way. But when it comes to this show, the way that they make it seem is that she doesn't show up. Okay. For Martina on certain things, like her last day of chemotherapy. So she's planning this F cancer party. She doesn't know where she wants to have it. So Adriana offers her place. First off, let's talk about Adriana's place. Gorgeous. I can appreciate Adriana's taste. Very much like she did her old home. She's like, I didn't really change anything. I didn't make it modern like Jody did to that place. She sort of stays true to the authenticity of the home. I actually like her home. She has a beautiful home and she has a grand piano. We kind of look at Adriana. I don't think people realize how educated Adriana is, how many languages she speaks. And she was in the art world for many, many years. Like, she's no dummy. And she's very sophisticated. I know she doesn't necessarily always carry herself that way on this show, but she actually is very sophisticated. Homegirls, we didn't talk about this last week, she knows how to play the piano. I didn't even know that. And maybe because she's sort of focused, I'm going to be a pop star now. Well, because she's done everything else education-wise and career-wise. But her home is actually really beautiful. I'm so glad they gave us a tour. And what we love about the Real Housewives of Miami is that the friend of the housewives doesn't feel like a friend of on this show because they were OGs at one point. They feel like a part of the show. It doesn't feel like we don't get their story, except Kiki. We're still waiting to get Kiki's story. And Kiki is still funny. I love what Kiki brings. I'm so glad that she is making some coin from this show being a friend of. She's so funny. So funny. All right, her commentary is everything. I have to say, her commentary is probably even funnier than Marisol this season. Sorry, Marisol. You're still funny, but they're not really highlighting a lot of your confessionals like that. Not like what they have in the last couple of seasons. All right. So Adriana says, why don't you have your F cancer party here? And then we get the tour of her beautiful home. It's a really beautiful home. All right. It makes me wonder, like, what does Adriana do outside of, I know she was in the art world. I mean, you just never know. And I wonder if she rents this place or she actually owns it. I don't think she's a dummy. Like I said, I feel like she owns this place, but you never know. You never know, especially on Housewives. So she says, why don't you have the party here? And Julia's like, well, I would love to have the party here, but I want to make sure that we invite everyone. I want everyone to be invited. But Adriana is in a bad place with Marisol right now, so she's not sure she wants Marisol in her home. So she's already setting us up. She's already setting us up for what happens later in this episode. But here's my theory on why Adriana wants to have this party in her home. It's not just to help her friend Julia. I really feel like Julia and Adriana are going to have a falling out at some point. If not this season, the end of it'll be in next season or soon. Because I feel like it's Julia's trying to be friends with the other ladies, and Adriana is making it harder for her to do that. But the reason why Adriana wants to have this party in her home is because now she gets to host something. She gets more airtime. It guarantees her spot on the show. She wants to be a full-time housewife. Word on the street. She wants to be a full-time housewife. So of course, let me host this. Now I have a guarantee that all the ladies have to film with me. There's an element of the fourth wall that we don't talk about that I like talking about on our reviews, because that's the first thing that came to mind. I was like, oh, it's not just she wants to be a good friend to Julia, and I'm sure she does on some level, but you saw what she said. Well, I don't know if I want to invite everyone into my home. So she wants to ice out Marisol. No, everyone's going to have to come, Adriana. It's a beautiful home, though. I'm looking forward to the party. I'm not looking forward to Julia singing. We did have a real opera singer come in this scene and sing, and then Julia looked like she was gonna pass out. It's not easy being a singer. It's not easy being an opera singer, nevertheless. And the dog was humping his leg. I'm like, what is happening here? True drama. All right. So that was a cute scene. For me, the biggest part was Adriana and her home, to be honest with you. Alexia, I'm so glad that Alexia is sharing this journey with Frankie. You know we love us some Frankie. Peter, not so much. The awkward silence. But Peter loves his brother, so we can appreciate that. And we can appreciate we don't get too much of Peter. All right. So Alexia is on this journey of allowing Frankie a little bit more independence. And some of what they've been doing is trying to get him better, both socially but also physically. So they've been doing this oxygen chamber. You remember Michael Jackson with the rumors that he had an oxygen chamber? But we hear from the doctor the benefits of this oxygen chamber. So they've been doing this, and apparently it's been helping him be more verbal. I thought it was in my head because I noticed that he was more verbal, but you just never know. I'm like, is it editing that they never really showed him talking as much, or is what I'm noticing real? That he's being more verbal, he's being more social, according to Alexia. And she talked about the journey of being nervous and really trying to be overprotective. Very, very sidebar. I was going through my 23andMe, not me being Afro-Cuban. Oh, that 23andMe is so telling. I was like, wait, because it has these categories, Afro-Cuban, something else, and then Jamaican. And shout out to Jamaicans. You probably have seen this as well. All right. One of the things that was said was most likely, and it said Afro-Cuban. I was like, and look, Cuba's right next to Jamaica, so I'm not completely shocked. But this 23andMe is quite telling. And shout out to my Nigerian folks. That's also my heritage too. Igbo. Hey, Dr. Wendy. We're so silly. Can y'all focus? How do we get in? Oh, Alexia. I really do love this part of Alexia's storyline. Something else is brewing with Todd. I don't know what's happening with Todd, but I prefer watching Frankie's journey because I really believe that this is real for Alexia. She loves her some Frankie. She got really emotional in her confessional talking about Frankie and his relationship with his brother and how Peter almost wanted to take his own life because of what happened to his brother, because Frankie, before his accident, really was almost like the older brother, even though he's the younger brother. I can see that because like I tell you guys, I feel like my siblings look to me, not necessarily as the older sibling, but they don't treat me like the baby. I'm the baby of 6 kids. They don't treat me like that. I'm not spoiled. They might think I'm spoiled. I don't think that I'm spoiled at all. to be honest with you. But I guess most spoiled kids might say that. I am not. Trust and believe. Um, but I love this scene. I love hearing more because just when you think that you couldn't get more from what happened to Frankie and that accident and his journey back to his own independence, as I said before, I noticed that he was more verbal, even more social. I love seeing him interact with folks, and I know some folks might not be used to it, but I love it because he needs to be encouraged to be more social and more independent. And I love that's what she's doing for Frankie, and I love that we get to see that journey on the show because it's going to help other people. There are other people that have children in similar situations, and they probably never thought, oh, I never heard of this oxygen therapy. Let me see if this is something that I can do. And Alexia, if you can help other people do it, maybe we can, work on something like that. Just saying. All right, Lisa Hochstein. So Lisa Hochstein brings her kids over to Jody's place. And I know you're thinking, too soon? Look, too soon? But she says she hasn't told the kids that this is her boyfriend. But didn't she kiss him on the mouth when she came in? But she hasn't told the kids that this is their boyfriend. I'll say this, though, to be honest with you. Yes, Jody is the saint. Again, I still have to say, Lisa, stop talking about your woes when it comes to your divorce with Jody. Jody is a saint. I have to say, seeing Jody with his kids, not his kids. Oh, damn. Sidebar, did you guys see, first off, speaking of Lisa Hochstein, so Lisa Hochstein took to her social media and shared that I can't remember the timeline, but she basically shared that there was a DV situation with Lenny not too long ago. And she showed the bruise that she experienced. And then there was some back and forth in the comment section between Jody, Lenny, and Lisa. We're not going to go through that because at this point, you guys are grown. You guys are, I'm sure Lenny's in his 50s. Jody, I don't know how old is. I think Lisa is in her 40s. So this back and forth on social media, when kids are involved, a divorce is involved. I think Lenny was trying to make it seem like Jody is like he is. This scene alone with Jody and the kids, and I know Jody is in a different position, so of course he's going to come across very loving and nice and sweet, like the, play uncle kind of thing. But I feel like Jody does have a good heart. I do feel like that he is a kind person. I do feel like he's not Lenny, who is trash. Okay? What... Eres basura. Lenny, eres basura. All right. Anyways, so I like seeing the scene, but at the same time, I'm like, I still cringe because this is so new. She's still figuring out her divorce. I'm not sure how I feel about the kids getting to know Jody. These kids are something else, though. I always feel like when we see Lisa and her kids, she could barely handle them. Like, I feel like they do not listen to her. I don't know what that is, but those kids are tough. Those kids are tough. But apparently her son seems to be having a tougher time with this divorce. He is the oldest, so he notices more. He wants to see mommy and daddy back together. No one else wants to see that, but we get it. That's your mom and dad. You're used to a certain dynamic. But trust and believe, the way that things are toxic between Lisa and Lenny, we don't need them to get back together. All right. Sidebar. When Lisa said that, I hang around a lot of gay guys, so I think the kids think that this is one of my gay friends. Lisa, no shade, Jody. Before we knew who Jody was, I thought that. No offense, Jody. Not that it should be offense, but you get what I'm saying? We all thought that because we didn't know that this was an actual relationship. So I kind of thought, I was like, oh, this is one of her gay friends. So when she said that on the episode, I was like, well, that's what I thought. So I'm sure the kids probably think the same. Moving on. Let's move on. Let's move on. It was a cute scene, though. It was definitely a cute scene. All right. The sprinter to the charity event. So Alexia wants to pick her team because it's her birthday. Alexia can be so... This is not a Taurus trait. I got to look at her chart. It's her birthday, so it's apparently Taurus season. I believe her birthday is like May something. And it's like right around the same... No. She's early May, I think. And Teresa is a late May. Not late May, but like the late part of Taurus. So maybe that's why she's a little bit of a Gemini. That makes a little bit more sense. Anyways, moving on. Moving on. Guys, if you haven't already, be sure to like the video. It's an easy and free way of supporting not just my channel, but other channels as well. Don't forget to check out our other social media because we've been covering a lot of the Diddy situation and the fallout because there's more. Diddy's facing 2 new lawsuits that have come out over the holiday weekend. Be sure to check that out on TikTok. We've given you some content, including Aaron Hall, a clip from Aaron Hall's interview. Be sure to check that out. We also covered it in long form here on YouTube. But if you are hoping to see a full coverage of it, be sure to check these out on our multiple platforms, including TikTok, Instagram, and on Twitter. All right, so be sure to check that out. All right. So Alexia wants to pick her group because they're going to be split. The ladies are going to be split on different teams for this charity basketball game for Make-A-Wish. All right, which is a fantastic charity. It's so interesting that Larsa is the one spearheading this. So as everyone's arriving, everyone looks great. I love Gertie's look that she gives us. I was like, is that a Mugler outfit for the basketball game? Okay. So Gertie does not want to bring up the cancer situation yet. She's only told certain people in the group. What Gertie doesn't know is that the group knows, but they're like, we're not going to bring it up. It's awkward because I want to hug her and say, I'm here for you, but they're not supposed to know. The editors in this episode deserve all the awards because anytime someone would say something, they would bring in what was said in past seasons. They did a fantastic job. But one of the funniest things that they did in this episode was when each woman was talking about Gertie and her cancer diagnosis, and she was says, what did he say? Told by Larsa as they're talking about it. And then when Larsa starts talking about it, it says literally, wait, not literally. What does it say? I think I wrote it down. Oh, the editor's right. Larsa basically told everyone. That was not lost on me. And if you're not watching the episode and you're sort of like looking down or doing something else, you're missing out the little comedy that the editors are putting into the episode. So I appreciated that. Anyway, so Adriana already gets into it with Marisol and Alexia on this Sprinter van. First of all, Adriana talks about how she's flatulent, so she's a little gassy. All right. So when they take a break to go to use the restroom, the bros, Alexia and Marisol, are talking about it in the bathroom, but Adriana can hear, so she confronts them. You guys are talking about me, you're being mean, blah, blah. I think Adriana, she didn't have to take it so literal. She didn't have to take it to the level that she took it. I don't feel like if you're talking openly about being flatulent and they're talking about you saying it, I don't feel like whatever they said was so terrible for you to be so upset and offended. You really made it into an argument that did not need to go there. But okay, some people might disagree, which is fine. Please understand, you can have a difference of opinion here. Just, it's all about how you share it. Because some of y'all be like, you're wrong. No, how can I be wrong about my opinion? Look. This is how I perceive the situation. I don't feel like it was such a big deal for Adriana to make a big deal about it when they got back into the Sprinter. So they get back into the Sprinter, and then Marisol and Adriana are kind of going back at it. But Marisol's just like, whatever, bro, it's not that big of a deal. You're the one sitting here talking about being flatulent, and we're in a Sprinter van. Nobody wants to smell that. So then it gets into this whole comedy of like, oh my gosh, we're talking about gases and ish and da-da-da-da. Okay. Is that really a design, the whole dual toilet situation? Is that real? They give us a whole diagram. Alexia first of all, this is where I'm talking about with the editors. Alexia talks about how she poops and pees in front of Todd. And then people were like, is Todd into that? Not the editors bringing up an example where Todd says, oh, well, I'd much rather you pee on me than. I was like, these editors are shady. But I was like, not them dropping receipts. I don't think he meant that, but no shaming on people's and their fetishes. Look at the fetishes. But I was just like, whoa, I didn't expect them to drop a receipt on that. How do you guys feel about, come on, let's talk about the real stuff. How do you guys feel about pooping and urinating in front of your partner? I feel like if you can avoid it, some people can't avoid it. We're talking about people that have big homes and things like that where you can have separate bathrooms. Some people can't avoid stuff like that. I know someone told me, and that person might be watching, that she has never pooped in front of her significant other. And I get it because maybe it's not sexy, but like, how do you go through life, vacations? Like, how do you go? That to me seems stressful. And then are you just sitting there with bubble guts? Like, he's here, but I need to go to. Like, I just feel like on some level, you just have to let that go. We know we are all human. We all do the same things. I don't know if I would intentionally, when you're in the bathroom brushing your teeth, like, I got to go poop and do it while you're there. I mean, I could wait. You know what I mean? But I feel like that's a conversation we should all have. And I want to assess what you guys think in the comment section and in the live chat. Is that something that you do? And if you've been married for a very long time, have you avoided doing that for the last a few decades? Damn. I mean, I think you could get away with something like that if you have two separate bathrooms. If you don't have two separate bathrooms, I don't know how you get away with that. But okay. Anyway, so it leads to a conversation like that. It goes away from that, but then Alexia and Adriana get into it because Alexia had found out what Adriana said about the lifestyle that Todd has afforded Alexia. So Alexia's like, why are you talking about this lifestyle, blah, 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 blah. So, well, you're going to be real mad when you see the gift that he's got for me. I don't know if she knew that she was getting this watch, but remember she got the watch not last season, or maybe the season before that. All of it's mushing together. However, here's the thing. Adriana, and I said this when she got the other gift from Todd when they were on vacation, it's hater. It's hater vibe. And I like Adriana, but at the same time, I'm like, why do you care about the lifestyle that Alexia is being afforded? Why do you care about the gifts that Todd is giving her? It's coming across bitter. It's coming across hater because you don't have that in your life. You know what I mean? You had someone, now you don't have someone. And now you're fighting over your friendship with Julia because Julia is becoming closer with the other ladies in the group, specifically Alexia. So I don't understand why, even though I feel like Adriana has tea in regards to their finances, because, you know, we see later in the season something's going on with that. But I don't know why you would have issues with your finances and you're buying $78,000 watches. What does Todd do? He's a lawyer or something like that? I guess we'll see. Guys, if you haven't already, be sure to like the video. Be sure to vote in our live chat poll to let us know how you would rate this week's episode of The Real Housewives of Miami. This is later than usual, but at least I'm getting it out. And if you missed it, yesterday we dropped our video for The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills' latest episode. And for our short versions of these recaps, be sure to follow us on TikTok, Instagram, and on Twitter at TheKempire on all platforms. And TheKempire.com for all of our merch, our podcasts, and all kinds of really great stuff. New York, get ready. Stay ready. Just saying. All right. Moving on from there. What else did I want to mention? Alexia. Oh, so she gets into this fight with Adriana, and she says, "Oh, wait till you see the gift that he's got for me for my birthday. Then you're gonna be real mad." Well, I'm adding those words. So they get into it on this van, but everyone is just like, guys, let's just cease and settle, so that we can just get to this charity game. They get to the charity game, and they're in the locker room. And Lisa, I have to say, Lisa's sort of like the Karen Huger. She's sort of like in between both groups. She's good friends with Larsa, Alexia, and them, but she's also, you know, forging a friendship with Adriana, Garrity, and all of them. So she says she feels like she calls out the group for sort of bullying Adriana, and Adriana's over in the corner like crying. I mean, I do feel like the group bullies Adriana in a way, but Adriana doesn't make it easy either. You know what I mean? Just when you think there's peace, she's dropping all this stuff in the sprinter to the ladies, to Julia and Kiki, about Todd's finances and Alexia's lifestyle. You just made peace with her. You came and did a whole white flag and peace dress and things like that. So it's hard. And look, I don't know the timeline of events. I don't know if there's things that we've heard. Sidebar, I don't know if we even talked about Alexia and Adriana fighting in Miami airport. Yeah, apparently they were having some sort of fight, and Kiki had to be like, "Guys, stop it, stop it." Just saying. All right. So Adriana, when Julia arrives with Martina, she tells Julia what happened in the sprinter, and she's like, "I don't know if I want Marisol or Alexia in my home because they're just gonna bring the mood down." So she was already laying the groundwork, even when she invited Julia to have this party in her home. She was already laying the groundwork, and now she has her excuse, which makes me think that Adriana try to start stuff in the sprinter to make an excuse for them not to be invited. All right. Sidebar: we didn't talk about how Marisol yelled at Adriana. It's like, "You try to F my boyfriend," in the sprinter. Anyways, so in this scene, we get the group playing basketball. Interesting to see. First of all, I was worried for Adriana when she fell, but I was even more worried when Marisol fell. When Adriana fell, Marisol and Lexia were like, but when Marisol fell, Adriana also made a comment as well. But I was more worried for Marisol because she's older than Adriana. And falls like that could be detrimental. Okay? But she seemed to be okay. She got back up. She got back up. Kiki's comment is just like, she was surprised that Julia got a basket. And then she's just like, this is exactly, she hurt herself. So she's limping out of there. It was an interesting basketball game. There was a lot going on because there were so many people, so many different people that were playing as well. The black team won. When I say black team, it was what they were wearing. Calm down. They ended up winning. This was all Larsa's event. So, it was Team Jordan versus the other team. And so Team Jordan won. And Alexia, Larsa says, Marcus and I are very, very competitive. I'm probably more competitive than he is. So she really wanted to win. Sidebar. In regards to Julia and Adriana's friendship, after Adriana said that she doesn't want to invite Marisol and Alexia to her home because she feels like they're going to bring down the mood, she also said that she's kind of tired. Well, she didn't say it to Julia, but in her confessional, she's getting tired of Julia playing Switzerland. Because, Julia was her friend before and things like that. And Julia's like, well, I do want to invite Alexia. So Marisol might not be there. No, everyone needs to be there. Everyone needs to be there. I know, I get it. You don't want to invite everyone to your home. Well, you shouldn't have had this F cancer party at your home, but we know why you did it. You wanted to alienate the group. You wanted a position of power, Adriana. All right. So Adriana goes up. They go back to the locker room to do a cake for Alexia. Adriana's sitting there being a hater. She goes up to Anthony. I like silent luxury. You're a silent luxury. Which he is. She was like, they're very loud luxury. So Todd brings out her gift. She unwraps her gift. It's a $78,000 watch. That's a lot of money for a watch. And how much was that other watch bracelet thing that she had gotten a couple of years ago? What does Todd do? Is he in finance or something like that? It makes me wonder, are they just fronting for the cameras or what it might be? I really do believe, Adriana, that the money situation over there is not what it appears. It wouldn't shock me. But Alexia, here's the thing with Alexia. I don't feel like Alexia was intentionally showing off or bringing her gift to this thing to show off. But I think after Adriana said what she said, she wanted to show it off. Because I don't feel like, and I think that's a tourist thing, like we do love the finer things in life, but I don't feel like we are trying to show things off in front of people's face in order to make them feel bad. I think Adriana motivated her to do that after this fight in the sprinter and what she's been saying. And what she's been saying for the last couple of seasons. So I didn't feel like that is who Alexia is. She wants to show off all her fabulous, because we would see this throughout the seasons. You know what I mean? We know housewives very much like that want to do stuff like that just wants to be flashy. She's a tourist. She loves a nice luxury thing. But, oh, you're going to talk about the way he treats me? Oh, we're going to show you. Oh, you were hating before? You're going to hate me even more. That's the energy that I get from Alexia. I don't think Alexia's perfect. We know Alexia's last season was terrible for Alexia. But I have to, here I go twerking on the fence, merch available now. Um, I feel like the only reason why she wanted to get flashy now was because of what Adriana has been saying and what she said on the Sprinter. But what do you think? How would you guys rate this episode of The Real Housewives of Miami? Are you enjoying this season? We're already on episode, I don't even know what episode this is. Episode 4. Wow. I don't know. It feels like it's more than just episode 4. Not in a bad way, but in a good way. I'm enjoying the season. It will be interesting to see once the ladies do find out about Gertie's cancer diagnosis. I mean, there's been a lot playing out when it comes to Lisa and her divorce after filming. So there's going to be a lot to talk about during this reunion. Can't believe we're already talking about the reunion, but we are. Be sure to check out our Real Housewives of Salt Lake City recap, our Real Housewives of Beverly Hills recap, our Married to Medicine recap. It's been a holiday for some of us, but not necessarily for me. But I appreciate you all that have been watching and catching up this weekend, because I know some of you are just getting back from your family and friends from the holiday season. I hope you guys had a fantastic Thanksgiving. Shout out to our Native American brothers and sisters that watch. Yesterday was National Native American Heritage Day. So shout out to those of you that celebrate. And of course, the holiday season has begun. I cannot wait. I'm already tizzing the season. Tizzing the season already, getting trees, getting decor, all that really great stuff. I love this time of year. So don't forget to be present. Don't forget to enjoy this time, because we are still here to enjoy it. Okay? Shout out to our Kings Guards for holding us down in the comment section and in the live chat. We appreciate them. Shout out to our channel members. We could not do this on a monthly basis. You guys allow me to fix whatever goes on, allow me to get the proper lighting and things like that necessary for the studio. All of that for on a monthly basis. We appreciate you guys. To become a member, head on over to TheKempire.com/join. We appreciate your monthly support. A lot of things are coming up in 2024. I cannot wait to talk about that. And I think I'll be able to talk about at least one thing in December. So stay tuned. Stay tuned. New York. Okay. Guys, don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to share the video. If you're part of the replay crew, don't forget to let us know where you're watching from, how you would rate the Real Housewives of Miami's latest episode, and your thoughts on the episode, and your thoughts on what I had to say. All right, be kind. All right, let's get out of here, guys. Thank you so much for being here. Have a great rest of your Saturday.